Back on Full-Time Devils, Francis Maxwell here from TYT Sports. I've not been on the new year yet, so I wish everyone a happy new year, and what a game to get back talking tactics against Liverpool, coming off the back of two thrilling games, to be honest. United with a thrilling game against Newcastle, and Liverpool with a pretty thrilling game themselves against Arsenal. So let's talk some tactics about how Manchester United can defeat the Scousers. So first, let's take a look at the lineup that I predict Manchester United are going to go and run with. So, starting from the top there, David De Gea in goals, Young, Smalling, Blind and Darmian at the back. And I hate to say it, but it has to be done. Fellaini in the midfield with Schneiderlin. Louis van Gaal has come out and said that Carrick still out and Schweinsteiger a doubt. I'd love to see Swanee back in and replace Fellaini, but you got to deal with what you got to deal with. Martial on the right, Herrera, Lingard and Rooney. That is how I imagine Manchester United will line up. As I mentioned, I would prefer to see someone like Schweinsteiger come back in. The first things first is I have to talk about Fellaini. Now, I know he is the easy target. He's big, he's goofy looking. Everyone likes to heap on the criticism, make the memes about him. I'm guilty for that. But when it comes to Newcastle's first goal, a lot of people I seen on Twitter were blaming Chris Smalling for being caught out of position, not able to track Wijnaldum enough. Look back. I urge everyone, when it comes to these goals, strip it back 2 or 3 moves before the actual transition of the ball going into the net. And that's how it's easy to pick apart tactical flaws. Fellaini, I have no idea where he went walkies. He just decided to take it upon himself to follow into the box. For whatever reason, I don't know why. So, if you just bear with me here, no, it's not the exact numbers, but you guys know what I'm talking about anyway at this point. So, for instance, the ball was in here. It was Mitrovic. It was in the box. Fellaini decided to track into the box. Now, in doing that, right, it causes a sequence of events that lead to errors. So, what happened was the ball had found itself to a Newcastle player in this situation. Herrera should have pressed the ball, but for the similar reason why Fellaini was not in the right position, Herrera had a man that he was covering in this area, trying to provide some stability for Schneiderlin, right? So then what happens is, just imagine this is Schneiderlin right here. He decides to step to the man. Step to this man who is looking for this diagonal ball into Mitrovic. So in doing that, what he does is he sacrifices this area in here where he should be protecting, because that is his job. Him and Fellaini need to work cohesively to try and cover that area, which becomes such a danger area and will be a danger area playing against Liverpool, because as you see with Firmino's goals against Arsenal, that's where his strike came from. That's where a lot of their danger area is for Liverpool. So this is a problem. This is why I'm bringing this up. So Schneiderlin steps to the ball. You're thinking nothing of it. What happens then is Wijnaldum peels off, finds himself in here. Although Wijnaldum is technically a striker, or he should be picked up by Smalling, Smalling shouldn't have to rush in there to try and cover him. Smalling should be in this position, which is where the ball inevitably is. And an ideal situation is Fellaini would have been up here. He would have been marking his man. Herrera would have pressed the ball. Schneiderlin would have been in here to pick up Wijnaldum and then pass him on to Smalling, who's already in a good defensive position. But of course, that's not how it happens, because Fellaini wants to go and win the ball for some reason. The ball's in his own box. He's up for the head. Smalling steps out to try and fill this gap in here. Wijnaldum beats him from pace. The ball's in the back of the net. That goal was so crucial in that game. So crucial. Just before the half, give Newcastle a lease of life into the second half. Manchester United come back out 2-0 up. That game would have been done. That game would have been done. Manchester United would have come out with confidence, maybe added another. They could have conceded, no doubt. But that goal there just gave Newcastle a chance to believe in themselves going into that game. Why have I mentioned this as an example? Because with Liverpool, what happened with their goal against Arsenal? Their final goal to come back into the game. Long ball into Benteke. Last man coming in. Joe Allen puts it into the bottom corner. And that is exactly how Liverpool will score against Manchester United, unless Fellaini understands his positional sense. There's no need for you to wander in the box. And in the other example, when I talked about way back with their games against Bournemouth, there's no need to step into a random area where you think you're going to win the ball. Just stick to your job, man. Just stick to that positional sense. I'm sure you're a professional footballer. You know, and you're under the guidance. That's why I want Schweinsteiger back, so that he has protection for Schneiderlin, because Schneiderlin is a hunter. He's good at going and winning the ball. He's good at hunting. But with Fellaini in there as a loose cannon, Schneiderlin's caught in two minds. He doesn't know where to press, no protection. That's how goals will be conceded, and that's how Liverpool will score unless it's sorted. Let's talk about Liverpool's flaws in defence, because there is numerous examples. They're bare thin at the back. They have Sakho and Toure in there, who look like they've never played with each other ever in the history of football, because they're so out of sync. Arsenal's first goal, go back and watch it. As I said there, not just the finish from Aaron Ramsey at the near post, but the sequence of events that led up to Arsenal finding their way in behind, which is what Manchester United should be doing. It's where they found success against Newcastle. Rooney making those diagonal runs in behind. Lingard making overlapping runs. Martial utilising the space because they're so out of sync. What happened, if you imagine Liverpool here in the red, Arsenal or this team are in the grey or white, because white will not be able to stand out. Come on, guys, common sense. Anyway, what happened was Sakho stepped up, tried to win the ball. None of his fellow defenders stepped with him. They all sat here. They all kind of provided cover because they don't trust their fellow defender to win the ball. Sakho gets a head knock. The ball finds its way to Toure. Toure steps up to try and win it. Again, his fellow defenders did not step with him. They're out of sync. And then what happens is they all end up not in a straight line, not in a cohesive line. The ball breaks to Joel Campbell. Aaron Ramsey makes a run in behind, and it's they find an easy transition to break through those defensive-centred pairings. That is what Manchester United should be exploiting. Wayne Rooney is got a bit between his teeth. He's making those diagonal runs. He's allowing Lingard to overlap. Manchester United's core job to exploit Liverpool is split those two defenders. Split that centre defender pairing, because there will be chances in there. That's why I want to start Lingard. That's why I want to put Martial out wide right. I know Martial should be a striker. I would like Martial to take that striker role and use his pace in behind. But at the moment, Wayne Rooney seems to have the eye of the tiger. I'm not saying everything's right and ready with Wayne Rooney. Trust me, I know. It's a couple of goals. People are getting a little too excited. I think that he is smart. What I liked about Wayne Rooney wasn't his strike from outside the box. It wasn't his penalty conversion, which is fine. It was Wayne Rooney when he got into the box. If you remember the example against Newcastle, he makes this run, splits the defenders, exactly the same run he should be doing against Liverpool. Lingard makes a diagonal run in behind, cuts across, and then Wayne Rooney, when he finds himself in this example, it's a nice little reverse pass, and Lingard slots it into the back of the net. That is where Manchester United are going to score goals against Liverpool, because those two defenders, I can talk about everything else, but it's not going to matter, because if United split those two centre-backs, that is where success is going to come from, and that's why I would like to continue to play Rooney up top, have Martial and Lingard bombing in the wide areas. Let us know what you guys think in the comment section below. Glad to be back on here talking some tactics. What is your thoughts about Mario Fellaini? If we are to continue to persist with him in the midfield, what do United need to do to protect their back four anymore? Hit me up on Twitter at Francis_Maxwell. Excited to watch the game. Hopefully get a result. As again, thanks as always.
Time for a Liverpool preview. We're heading to Anfield, and Wayne Rooney is suddenly in the form of his life, or at least it's the best he's played in 3 games the last 5 years or so. What's happened?